All right, guys. So before we can go live with any of the campaigns, we need to make sure the client approves the creative. So there's a couple of really important steps here. We're going to be using a spreadsheet here. And every time we send new creative out for approval, we set it up in a different tab. So I would basically just copy this sheet, create a new tab and rename it with the date, and then let my client know that there's new ads for approval, check the tab marked, etc. this date. So we're going to use it all in this sheet because it's much easier for the client to access, and also it gives them a spreadsheet where they can go in every single day and double check any comments made on their ads. This is important, guys. You need to be very clear on who's responsible for responding to comments on those ads, because a lot of clients think that it's us. But the reality is community management is a whole different service, right? So you need to stipulate from the get-go, hey, you guys are responsible for answering questions on your own ads. That should be in your contract as well. And then you give them this sheet and say, hey, make sure you go in there every single day and just respond to questions and answer any questions. So this is the sheet here. Now we've got 4 personas for this particular client. We're going to break it down by personas. I need to put the link to the ad here. And then before we even send anything to the client, it's important that you do an internal check. So you get someone else on your team, or if you're the only one on your team, just review them the next day when you have a clear mind. Check for spelling mistakes, okay? This is super easy to make grammar mistakes or spelling mistakes, especially when you're really in the account and you've been working for long hours. You need to make sure you have an internal check before you send stuff that's sloppy looking to the client. It's not going to be a great look, right? So make sure you do an internal check, and normally we would just mark this as, yes, if it's done. And then approved by client, you just let them know, hey, can you just mark a Y if it's approved, so that we know internally that we can go live. And if they say no, that there's any comments like, hey, no, you shouldn't use that image, use this image instead, for example. So what we're going to do here to pull up the ad is we're going to, inside of the ad account, we're basically going to click on edit at the ad level. At the top right hand corner under links, we'll click manage Facebook comments. And then this is the URL here of the ad. So we'll just copy this, and this one is for the general audience. So we'll go in here. And we're basically going to create a separate line for each ad. So each ad will have their own line so that we can have a separate approved or comments tab for it. And then send that off to someone else on our team. Once that's all done, then we can essentially send that off to the client for approval and go live with our ads.